evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Get to Work. I'll be your host, Stanley Gilliard. And we're going to have a special guest on Let's Get to Work. Cookie May from Cookie May Handmade Quilt. So how you doing, Cookie May?
I'm doing really good, really great. I'm doing real good, really great.
So Cookie May, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you from.
Well, I am a housewife. I have 4 children and many grandchildren and great grands. And I just do quilts, and it's something that I love to do. But this is something that I do, and I do it every day, and I love it.
So tell the audience where you from.
I live in quite a nice sized little town called Santee, South Carolina.
Okay. And how did you get started in handmade quilt?
Oh, well, the only thing that I can remember, I remember at the age of 5, watching my mother and my 2 grandmothers and 4 other ladies in the neighborhood. They would come every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and they would quilt. And my brother and I, we would be up under the table. We would thread the needles for them, and we'd push it up under so that they could get their needles. But I love doing that, but I quit for a while. But this was joy to my heart when I started doing it all over again, and it's been filling and rewarding for me.
So versus handmade quilt and sewing machine, why would you rather hand make it or use a sewing machine?
Oh my goodness. I have used a sewing machine. I have 2 sewing machines, but it's just something about when I do it with my hands. I love it. It's just the touch of the fabric when you can just run your hands across the fabric, and it like your fingers can feel the threads, but the threads feel just like notes that are bouncing up off of the fabric, and it just has this wonderful texture that it just makes everything within you just beam. It's almost like a ray of sunshine.
Okay. Sound like a lot of work.
Oh, I love it. It's just the pleasure. It sounds like a lot of work, but for me, if I lay out a pattern or I sit when someone asks me about doing a design on a quilt, I love it because I can take my time. I can figure that design out by what they want. If they talk about their children, if they talk about the trees, or they talk about things that are out in their everyday living, I can just pattern that in my brain, which it's connected to my heart, and it touches me to where I can do that design on that quilt. And when I do it and show it to them after get finished with it, and they'll tell me, this is exactly what I wanted. This is what I asked for. I couldn't tell you how I wanted, but you did it so well, and it's just something that I enjoy doing. I love it.
So we're gonna pause for a minute and we can let Cookie May get one of her lap quilt and show us on the film. Okay? Go ahead. While Cookie May getting her quilt, we can play a little music.
What is it?
All right, she's gonna show you one of her handmade lap quilt. Just hold it up to the camera. You can stand up.
I can stand up.
Okay. Move this way.
This way?
Yeah, that's good. Pick it up a little bit. Okay, this is one of her quilt that she's working on right now, and it looked very good. You call it a lap quilt?
Yes, this is a lap quilt.
Okay, go ahead and tell the audience a little bit about it.
Well, when I spoke with the lady, she was telling me about her two granddaughters. Both of them are ballerinas and tap dancers. So I started off with the very middle of it, the center of it, and I did a ballerina in a pose. And this is how within myself, I pictured that ballerina to be standing and posing. And this is what I put on that quilt for them, along with other designs. And that's how I just picture her granddaughters in their little outfits in that pose, and that's how I put it on the quilt.
Okay, we gonna pause again and we gonna spread out one on the chair over there and look at a full-size quilt. All right, we gonna do this right now.
It's not that she leaves me alone. I'm getting there all by myself. But just
You can help. You can help her put it, spread it out.
I can't help but hoping that it never comes home. She didn't trust me so much. I think he really trusts me too much. I wish he didn't trust me so much. We got a problem, baby. I think he really trusts me too much. No, I swear, oh, it's not my will, but it's something about the way she makes me feel. Lord, I'm so scared of what I do. If she starts to feel in that same way.
All right, Cookie, tell us a little bit about your full-size quilt.
Well, this quilt is something I had the pattern for this quilt in my heart and in my brains for quite a while, because it reminds me of how my mother and my grandmother did quilts, and they took these tiny little pieces and they would put them together. They'd cut them out. But with me, what I do, I cut these little designs and pattern out, and I just and they've been, I just love it. I even do like the Bible. I'll put something like a heart, or if I'm thinking about if we take a break, I'll fix cookies or tea. So it's like it's different things that I put on it to just bring that quilt alive, like how my mother or my grandmother would be doing, and that's what I did. I just made these little parts on it so that it could be something almost like a special thing for myself, for my mother, my grandmother, and it's just something other that I love to do. I do this every day, and it's like it's just something that you have to acquire a taste for it, and that's what I'm trying very hard to instill in my grandchildren, to do something like this. And when you do things with your hand, it's just something special. There's a special quality, there's a special gift to it that it's just something that's very different, but something that is love. And you can, looking at the little tiny pieces that I cut out, it displays love and compassion for the word to put fabric together. where you can take that one little tiny, minute piece of fabric and just make it work.
I see you got a heart.
I There's a heart. I have a Bible. I got the scriptures on it. I also have where I took my break and had tea and cookies. And also I made a quilter's guide. You know, as a quilter, I think every quilter have a design in mind to where and how they want to do a quilt, how they start with the fabric, how they, it's just something that's a good gift that is granted to us because, we use our hands for everything. So when we take our hands and put a design on a quilt, and it's one of the better things in life. I have never ever been able to go to a store and get a pattern and do one of their patterns. I have always sit down and I drew out my own pattern, my own design, and I put them on a quilt. Every quilt that I have done, I've never gotten one from out of a quilting book or out off of a pattern and done it because I've never been able to follow their design. I have my own techniques where I can sit down with a pencil and paper, draw out the pattern, and then cut it out, put it together, and it turns out like something like this. And it's a unique thing because to do it, it's very unusual to sit down to do a quilt, but it's something so joyful in it. And really, you can look at it and tell it's love in it because it's just a balance to it. All the materials match, all the things that I put on it, they make the heart rejoice. So it's just something that's really good and something, like I said, I really love it.
So you do a lot of work with that handmade quilt, ain't you?
I do a lot of work with it, and it's just something, like I say, it's a spiritual balance when you do it and you have the fabric to just sit there and do it and just make it a balanced thing. Um, it's just a rejoicing thing to the heart and to the soul when you can put a quilt together. I sit every time when I do a quilt, I keep thinking, how is it going to turn out? If somebody tells me, well, I want this put on a quilt or I want this done to a quilt, I could really never, ever um, get the idea of it. But when I hear what they're telling me, but it's like my heart and my hands tell me to do something else, and that's why I usually tell them, just tell me the color that you want, and let me do all of everything else. So most time when people talk to me about a quilt and they tell me what they want and how they want it, I take my own design and I make it to where it's going to be something that they're going to love. And that's what happens. I just and a lot of times I'll be reading the Bible. I can go and get a scripture, and that scripture balance my brains out enough to where I can do a quilt, and I can do it in a spiritual sense where they can enjoy it, where it's going to be something rewarding to them. Um, and it's just a good technique, and I wish that younger people, and I'm trying to instill in my granddaughters to do something like this because it'll carry this technique or the art form of quilting over to their children and to their children. So it's something that everyone, um, because I remember my grandmothers would tell us, if you couldn't do anything with your hands other than cooking, quilting would be the thing for you to make it balance, to make you happy, and it's a rewarding gift.
So, Cookie May, if anybody want to get in touch with you about your handmade quilt, would you like to give out some information, your phone number, or?
Yes, if they would, they could contact me at, well, my name is Cookie May, and my email address is cookiemayg@gmail.com, and my phone number is 803-974-1849. And you can call me anytime, because usually if my phone ring, I know it's someone calling to ask me about a quilt. So anytime you call, I'll answer. So don't worry about the timing. Don't worry about when you call. Just call me, and I will be there to answer your call. You give me a design or a pattern, what you want, and I'm here to fulfill it for you.
All right, Cookie May. Our special guest, Cookie May from Cookie May Handmade Quilt. Would you recommend handmade quilt, Cookie May?
Yes, I would. I would recommend them really highly, because this is a art uh, that is a wonderful gift. I remember my mom. I remember my grandmothers and other ladies in the neighborhood doing it. Most now, with all of everyone that's quilting, they have the special machines that they do with on these big platforms that they do the quilts. I think they're wonderful. I think they're beautiful. But there's more love in a quilt that is hand stitched than anything in the world, because the technique to where someone take their hand, their brains, and their eyes, and they fulfill something with just fabric. It's a special reward in it. It's a special gift.
Okay, we want to thank Cookie May for sharing her information about her handmade quilt. And I'm Stanley Gillard, your host, and this is Let's Get to Work. And we'll talk to you all later.